Look, if there's anything that I can point at that's increased almost at the highest epidemic level, forget about COVID and all those things. The serious worst epidemic is the disease that's causing people to have a failure to adult. This is the biggest problem in our world today. It's why we have all of the drug abuse. It's why we have all the family problems, all of the issues with relationships. Everything comes out of the inability to adult. What do we mean by adult? Being a person who owns their decisions. Right? Isn't that what the difference is between a child and an adult? The child doesn't own its decisions. The adult does, the parent. If your child does something that they shouldn't do, the parent will often be held responsible. We have a terrible struggle, inability, or failure to own and make our choices, make our decisions, to adult, to take full responsibility. You know, I've said this many, many times, and again, this goes into those maybe t-shirts we should put out. You are primarily responsible for all aspects of your life, and it's exemplified by the choices you make. But you have to own that. You are responsible. Not me, not him, not Messiah, not your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your coworker, your friends. You. That's what it means to really be an adult. To own that phrase, that you say, I am responsible for me. For every choice I make, for every circumstance I find myself in. If you're still blaming your upbringing in the neighborhood you were raised in and whatever culture and whatever other thing, you're not ready to adult. To adult, you have to own everything in your life at this moment. That doesn't mean you own everything, meaning it was all your fault, everything happened before now. I'm just simply saying is, you own that you now, whatever happened to you up to this point, you own every choice you make right now. And you could say, well, but I'm making these choices because, well, those are a bunch of excuses. You have a very wide freedom of choices you could make. There's a huge range of choices you could make. And every one of you could be anything from any moment. You know, it's funny, when I was in New York, I ran into my friend's mother. I tell the story about how she decided late in life she wanted to be an attorney. When I saw her, I asked her, I said, by the way, how old were you when you did that? She's 51. What's your excuses? Well, I'm too old. Really? 51, she decided to be an attorney. And now she's the same age as my mother, so she's like 83 or whatever, she's 84, and she's been an attorney now for 30 years. I mean, she could have started at 61 and been an attorney for 20 years. I mean, you can do anything from where you are right now, including choose to get the crown of life. Choose to covenant, walk in submission, trusting in belief what Yahweh promises to those who obey him. You know, we had some people during prayer time stand up and say, praise Yah, that he would take a complete out of control lunatic like I was my whole life and call me anyway. Okay? All of us, to whatever degree, are that. Maybe some worse than others, depending on whose eyes are looking at, but in Yahweh's eyes, it's all the same. None of you can hold yourself up a tier or a step above one of the other people in this room. Now, clearly, there are those of us that did things that society may look down upon as worse than some things we all did, but all of it is worthy of death, so really there's no hierarchy in it. But you can overcome all that. As a matter of fact, some of you are actually handicapped by the fact that you didn't have a horrible upbringing and you didn't do dumb enough things to appreciate what he's given you now. Because you think, well, I wasn't so bad. All right, so I didn't know about Saturday, but I was a good person. And you don't actually look at yourself as filthy rags enough to appreciate that he called you anyway. See, some of you are suffering from being good up to a point, if you understand what I'm saying. Because a lot of you that were awful, you really are like, praise Yah, I can't believe that he would even work with me at this point.